All right, ready? First exercise. Okay, so this is about lining up with the shoulders. So it'll be about 6 inches between the hands. Yeah, and then round it out a little. So that's so. So round. See, this is not rounded. You have to create the shape. Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. To the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay? Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one more time. Hands up. Reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right. To your left. Center. Inhale. Exhale. Hands on your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center cross. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Neck turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center tilt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center, rotating. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Center, hands up. Pull in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, spread your feet. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, we'll stretch it out. Switch. 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 Switch, straighten front knee. Switch. 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 Okay, center. Okay, and just kind of squat down if you can. Go to side to side. Just sit down on as close as you can to close this knee joint. Okay, let's shake it out. Okay, hands up. Pull in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, again, inhale. Elbows up. And then open. And down. So you're pulling in toward the face, the elbow goes up, then out level, and down. Okay, so that's the motion. Inhale, exhale downward. Okay, shoulder roll. Reverse. And center. Okay, press, release, exhale, inhale. And stop. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, wrists. Reverse. Okay, palms down, bigger circle. And stop. Okay, shake it out. Side to side, hands on the hip. Okay, press down, lift up. Press down, lift. Palm down here. Okay, now insert needle, hands up and down. Right? So this lifts up the knee and down. Switch. Okay, center. Alternate the hands. Swing the right leg. Okay, switch. and center. Okay, side to side. And center. Switch. And center. Shake it out. Hands up, pull in, inhale. Exhale. Okay. Silk rilling. Switch. Okay, open and close. Toe down. switch. Okay, center. Circular movements. Okay, lower hoop. Shoulder height. Elbows down. Lower, palms down, straighten up. Point your fingers down. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, diagonal flying. Okay, switch. Okay, cloud hands. Okay, palms down, lift up, carry tiger to the mountain. Infinity sign. Form the fists. Okay, palms together. Strum the lute. Turn, draw the bow. Okay, fan to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, palms down, deep breathing. Okay, so we'll go through the individual postures, they call the linear form, but we just go through a series of these so that we can see our own body form. If there's a mirror in front of you, then you can, if you don't have one, you can always try to move over so you can see what your positions are like. If you need one, I can pull one of those over. We can pull it over here. Okay. So is that pretty good? It's okay. So we start our preparation. We know is this. Sink the elbow, relax the shoulder. So that's the principle. Sink the elbow, relax the shoulder. Now, when the elbow goes down, the hand's going to come back as a response to the sinking of the elbow. So, a lot of times in the beginning, you focus out here where the hands are, and it ends up like this. So one of the main things or the key concepts of Tai Chi is not to be too physical. So what's too physical? It's the inability to regulate the amount of strength you're using. And the reason for that is because we don't know what or how much strength we actually need to do this. So it might end up looking like that. Right? That's too physical, and that's somewhat isolated when you do that. So we want to let the body relax. So you have the vertical forward and backward motion, so that's dimensional. Then when we shift the weight and step up, find your vertical position. Then you sink your elbow and create the horizontal position. So where should your hand be? Your nose, your thumb, and your knee should be one line, right? So it would appear to be this would be directly centered between your legs, but that's not where you want to be. When you come forward, you want to be a little bit to your left. Why? Because this is where your support is. So even though this is the frontal view and it's to the front, you want to shift over to that leg. Okay? And then you would sit back, flip the elbows, and then come down on the diagonal, toe out, and then move this hand in, and then step up. So that's how you get to the other side. Find the center line that's over the nose. Now in this position, because our spine is over the heel of the back foot, if you imagine that line that goes through your body, it should be right through to the heel of the back foot. Then we approach the horizontal. We separate the hands. We sit back and we turn and push off the right shoulder. So here's your vertical, so you're a little bit to the left. You drop down, you create the circle over the right knee, come off the front shoulder, the right shoulder, and go to the hip, toward that center line position we're talking about. And then you cross over, traverse across to the right side, and then come off that shoulder. So the movements actually appear to be more circular than linear. Now when you connect the hands, like we're doing at the wrist, now we have a sense of right and left integration. And the correct motion starts to align. See, when we align or connect the hands, then the alignment of movement's going to be building that relationship. Now, how big is this movement? Shoulder, right? So if you look at your shoulders and you drop the lines down, you see the sparks. If we go to the shoulder height position and we cross the body, you don't need to go much beyond this area. because then it becomes excessive and you're reaching. You're leaving the realm of that space. So when we sit back, all we need to do is relax the elbows. And as we come across with the twisting of the waist, because now we get our spine over the heel of that back foot, and we kind of come toward that center, right? Or we approach that center that goes over the front knee. So it's really a box, right? You're essentially doing that, but in that box you have these oblique lines. So as we track the 45 line and we cross over, and now you're generating the circular, or the motion that appears to be circular, by the right-left motion. So that's grasp the sparrow's tail. You have to kind of build that volume and the movement by understanding that Tai Chi movements are three-dimensional. So it has the horizontal movement, that's right to left. It has the forward movement, okay, that's projecting forward. And it has the backward movement, okay, and at the same time, it has the crossover to the oblique slant line. And then it has the horizontal shoulder reference point, and it has the center line reference point. So each one of these movements actually start to build that center space. So as a functional movement where you're using it as a self-defense, why we have to work within the realm of this space is because this is where all your vital organs would be, and this is what you're trying to protect if you're using it as a martial art. So you have to cover this space so that when you're moving, the cross connection between the sides is really your right and left relationship, whether it's on the diagonal in both directions, because when the hands cross here and cross here, your sternum is the center of that box, you see. So those are reference points, and when you see your body, in the mirror, now you can actually track the movement. So referencing your body now becomes pretty important, because your body space and the size of it is really your relative position. Once we finish grasp the sparrow's tail, and we sit back and turn 45, the hook hand and the foot is in the same direction. It's just that when I leave this arm here and I open the single whip position and I go to the opposite corner, if you look at your position, it looks 45 here, 45 here, vertical here, 45 there, and 45 there. And the toes are 45, so everything is 45. Then the hand goes to center. But look at my arm. If I go like this, you see the oblique. And then I go to horizontal. I cross over. There's the oblique line, right? And I lift. So the hands are above each other, the center of our palms. Then when we shift and adjust, here's our diagonal flying. There's that slant. And it tracks on that oblique line. And we shift. Then we shift in. So when we shift, the knee goes to the tip of the toe. When we shift again, our spine goes to the heel of the back foot. And then we can pick this foot up and then move out. Then this hand comes in and this hand comes out. And we repeat going to the horizontal elbow, and we drop the hand as we shift forward. We pass through center, touch down, but don't shift. Touch down, and then we shift, right? So from here we go forward, relax the shoulders, move through center, and then lift the body and turn the palm out to this. So it's right alongside your forehead. When we bend the waist and lift up, our hands end up like this. So your fingertips are about the width of your forehead. Okay? So this is where Carry Tiger to the Mountain ends up as you transition through the cross hands. See, so these positions over time start to become muscle memory, and the accuracy of your movement and consistency of movement comes from what you've been working with, coming up through center and out and then down, around, and then you lift as a timing, and we're here. Okay, so stork flap swings, what would be a physical action that's not probably the best way to do it? If you go like this, and then you bend and go like this, you see everything is broken. They're isolated and separate. To connect the movement, you have to integrate the hands with the legs, sustaining this while we find this. Lift the hands as we lift the body. Feel the separation when it comes to here. Bend down, turn toward the lower hand, connect the lower hand with the back, and then spin back to the front. And then relax. Now relaxing is not dropping the hands. Relaxing is allowing your shoulders to settle. Because the clavicle area, so the shoulder girdle is the descending part. So that's your torso. This is your arm. This is your body. So we learn to relax the body, because relaxing the body allows you to settle and connect the arms to the legs, because all your movements come through your body. Your body's your torso. So every bone in the torso has to learn to release the tension. Something pretty difficult to do, because our body, the tendency is to be not just stiff, but uncontrollable, right? We can't control these areas, because controlling it means a motor skill. It means you have to program the movement into your brain, so the brain knows how to move. Like when we do this, that's a motor skill. So we can do this, but if we're doing this and then we relax, then while we lift here and then descend here, what causes the descending part of motion? The descending part of motion is gravity. When you release the tension in your body, then your body starts to drop, right? So if we're here and we release the body, then the shoulders are going to come down, because you release the clavicle, you release the shoulder blades, you release the lats in this area, and everything just kind of comes down. But then it all comes down, because then your ribs actually went up a little bit, and then it comes down, your ribs will actually start to close. So, all of that really tied to connective tissue, everything that's in here. You don't have a lot of bulky muscles around the ribs. It's just sort of that connective tissue that you see on the spare ribs when you see that little layer. So that's stuff that we need to move in order for your body to get any benefit. And then if we step up, we're in neutral position. So neutral is important. Palm out, turn like this, and we turn, and we drop the elbows as we flip the hands. So we've done this exercise, right? So when we go like this and we flip the elbows, that brings the horizontal to vertical in the corner. And we bring the hand down, but just relax. So this hand actually is turning, so the elbow ends up going down. When it goes down, it slides off the hand, and then it starts to traverse across the body, and it ends up down here as this hand ends up out here. So that's brush, knee, and push. Turn, sink, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the multi-dimensional changes in movement is really the vertical. There's a change here. It's in the body. It's in the shoulders, elbows, arms. It's in the legs. And we're here. So why is it that we sometimes can't get this hand to end up relaxed? The reason for that is because we're focusing on this, and we forget about that. So what we have to do is complete the motion by allowing this to come to here. And then as this starts to push and the elbow relaxes, it actually settles down. So the arm is elongating on the forward motion. You see? And the index finger can point to the front, or this area of the hand can open up so the palm, the tiger's mouth, faces outward. Now, when the tiger's mouth is like this, right? Turn like this. Turn by sinking the... When you turn the hand like this, your elbow is pointing down. When your hand is like this, elbow is pointing out. If the elbow is pointing out and you're going forward like this, that means you have tension here, because it didn't allow it to drop. So we need to learn to release and relax the shoulder. That adds another dimension to movement. Then we come back to center, and then we do it a second time. It's all about releasing, relaxing, and sinking the shoulder. So how do the two sides connect in something like that? What one leads the other, one follows the other. When we go like this, we put our hands together. Now we went to the right side. That would be a connection. If the two hands are not touching, and you turn, then it's connected with an invisible thread, as if one is either pulling or pushing. When we're here, when this goes up and this goes down, that's separation. That's a splitting. So when the hands separate, they split open and connect like this. So now the connection is between this hand and this hand. So eventually you're going to develop a feeling. That feeling is, are those two sides working in conjunction with each other as that relationship? And then as the body becomes more and more intelligent, then the body starts to build that synchronization. But before you can control and synchronize, you have to build enough control, right? If we don't turn the waist, if we don't tilt the body correctly, so although this looks like a calisthenic, it could be very physical, or it could be the body yielding and adapting, creating a control factor where each part of your body is folding and unfolding, because there is balance in motion. So when this side collapses, this side really rises. When this side collapses, this side rises. But if it's a physical motion and you're just thinking of an action, then your body can't recognize that. Your brain doesn't understand what you're trying to do. All it knows is it's bending. But if you're building the mind-body relationship between what you're building as understanding of here from the control factors, then what ends up happening is you'll build a new set of neurons that actually will allow you to adapt and move based on the understanding that we're building in the brain. And that information feeds your musculature and proprioceptive actions, and then it figures it out. You have to give enough correct information for the body to recognize. So this is the left side, exactly the same as the right. Down, turn, and push forward. So while we spend 5 minutes on the short form, you could probably spend 20 minutes on this. So that's how you kind of build your understanding of body form and timing and synchronization. Okay, so I mean, there's so many levels of that can transition into your hand movements. Okay, so it all comes just this and this and this covers a lot of territory, because this sinking the elbow, relaxing the shoulders there, finding your cross arm position and your sternum is here. Your lower hoop position is here, and the elbow out is like this. So in this position, your elbows are out. But how do your elbows go out? It goes out because your shoulder comes like this and then it comes forward. That adds a dimension of hollowing the chest, where when you roll forward, your shoulder blades have to come forward like this, and then it hollows in here. That's how you create the roundness in this position. Whereas if this part didn't move, when you come down, it's going to be like this. So it's missing something. It's missing this. Right? That's rounding the back, hollowing the chest and rounding the back. So your back actually, doesn't move enough. It doesn't move voluntarily. All it does is hold you up, and then if you're picking up something, it stiffens so that you don't tip over. But that's just a physical motion to control your body so that it does this, and you lift and you sink and you turn. All of these are control factors that, even though it's a tremendous amount of motor skill, you get much, much better circulation because the back gets very tight. So all the tightness in the back and the neck reduces circulation, doesn't get as much in the brain. So it's a problem, for people that spend a lot of time, on the computer, or the neck gets tight. It's because we don't move it. When we move these muscles, when we move them, that frees up all of this back area in here. And then when that frees up, the circulation may be more comfortable. Instead of being knotted up and not getting enough oxygen into those muscles and the cells here, then you overcome some of that rigidity. The same happens in the body, right? We don't move the body. What happens? Not as good a circulation here, and not as flexible when we need to breathe. We have to breathe, we have to expand. We have to release, right? You inhale. We exhale. We inhale. The breath goes in and it comes down. It goes in and it comes down. So all breath and movement type of things focus on that. Some people think of visualization as you inhale, you exhale. So, it's a method that's in most of the disciplines that require, breath and movement and focusing. So that's basically what Qigong is. You've heard of that. And all the disciplines use some form of breath and control, breath and movement. But in Tai Chi, all the stuff that we do is really tied along the breath line as well. But the thing is, we have to breathe naturally. That means don't force it. While we're rising and falling, you can control that as a simple inhalation, exhalation. So in the warm-ups is the best time to try to get the breath regulation. In the form, it's a lot different because the postures vary so much that the breathing has to be something that becomes natural. But you have to build the breath from the fundamentals. And then eventually the breath knows what to do. Okay, let's go through the short form. So those are some of the things that we have to understand, right? Okay, preparation. And try to use the same concepts that we're just talking about. Press forward, sit back, kick the heel out, flip the hands, stroke down, square the hip, move out, right side forward, grasp the sparrow's tail. Turn to the front corner, single whip. Hold the ball. Relax. Slant diagonally, a diagonal flying shift. Step forward. Press forward. Raise the hand. Bend from the waist. Stork flaps wings. And relax. Turn. Toe heel pivot. Brush knee 4 times. Sit back, vertical to horizontal, twist step, turn to the left, step with the right, flip the hands and push forward. Sit back again, same procedure, going to the right, twist step, turn, flip the elbows and push forward. Turn to the right, back to center, palm up, lean forward, parallel stance, close the door. Form the right fist, step forward and punch. Move to the outside, divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Back to neutral. Turn to your right 45 degrees, lower the hand, slice out, fist under elbow. Neutral position, horizontal left side, turn and straighten the back foot, step through, and push forward. And remember, we have to pass through center, so when we straighten the foot, sink in that back leg, support it before you step. Support your weight before you step. Going forward again, back to the left side, straighten the right foot, sit into that right foot, balance, control the reverse stance, neutral, right side, hold the ball, twist step, step up, diagonal flying. Sit back, pass through center again, insert the needle, step forward, fan through the back, turn, stroke down, parry and punch. Form the fist. Step up and punch. Divert, block, and punch. Cross the arms. Leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Bring the hands down. Pivot to the rear. Carry tiger to the mountain. Turn your palms out. So that's same as the drill. So when we carry tiger, let's just do that once from here. Turn, lower hoop, upper hoop, palms out, cross the forearms, left hand to the outside, parallel stance, raise the hand. Bend from the waist, stork flaps wings, toe heel pivot. Just like before, left side, grasp the sparrow's tail, mirror image, down to the hip, across left shoulder, hook your wrist. Now we're going to turn to the corner, shift your weight, check your weight, step out, open the stance, 1, 2. Palm in, hook side across, flip the hands over, diagonal flying. Sit back, vertical, stroke down, hold the ball, pot the horse's mane. Toe out, step up, stroke down, pot the horse's mane. Cross over, sit back first, cross, step through, left side vertical, left side horizontal, sit back, turn. And Jade Lady work shuttle. Cross over, we're going to go to the other corner, right side, vertical, horizontal, sit back, turn, lift, and push. Drop the elbow, hook your wrist, turn back to the front, all the way 45, come through center. So what's coming through center when we make any transition like that? When we hook the wrist and we turn, then when we shift, we just have to relax this leg, and then it goes out. See? So if you end up in this position and you do this, then you lost control of the motion. So you want to come through, you're here, you want to come through center, so you're weighted here and touch down, open, and single whip. Bring the hands down, across. And this is the same. You shift the weight, touch down lightly before you pivot. Control your center. Shift, control, hold the ball, reverse, flip it over, and shift. Weight is here, pass through center, step back, so you step back, press, sit into it, cross, touch, shift, and down. So that's footwork. All that shifting and going to center is what we call differentiating between the solid and empty leg. The empty leg is the one that you move. The solid leg is the weighted leg, and that's the leg that constantly fills and empties, right? So the shifting of weight is filling one leg, emptying, filling one leg, and emptying. The 100% fill is when you have to take a step. So without bringing the foot across so that you can bring all the weight 100% of you, then you don't have control of what this leg should be doing. When you get over to here, this is what happens. You have control of what this is going to do. It's either going to step that way, or go backwards. But you have to control this. We build strength, we build proprioceptive reflex of knowing where your body is in space. And that leg actually gets stronger. Not just in strength, but in response. You know, if you're building, you know, sort of strength in your legs for balance, it's not enough. You have to build your sensory system to know where your body is and respond off of that. Because when the body knows and it feeds back to the brain that something's not right, you can fix it. But if it's just strength, your body doesn't understand any of that. So shifting of weight, so when the body gets more astute, it's that stuff that really is building. So why agility of footwork, controlling center of mass is so important is because it's always doing that. In brush knee, we're here. When we go forward and back and we go forward and twist, this is the leg that's going to get the weight. You have to check and pass through here. You may not stop, but it has to be there before you make your next step. If we're in this brush knee and we sit back and we strum the lute, when we go forward, we have to check the weight here and find the shoulder width stance and push. if we're in this stance and we want to go to raise the hand, you have to go and pass through center. So you have that control fact, and then eventually you have a relationship. Right? If I'm here and I sit back and I turn to my right and I'm back to center, I go forward. When I check my leg here, my hands are setting up to go down, to do this and this. Right? You see that in the motion, but what's the timing between the legs? See, so all of that becomes part of the transition. And all those transition inside every unit of your postures, whether step up and raise the hand, step up and close the door, form the fist, opening movement. We start off like this, right? Shift and pivot. Shift, balance, and step. Hand, hand, and forward. So right from the beginning, that's already happening. But in the beginning, when you're focused on sequence, that's not going to be something you're going to be focusing on. So once you kind of get the sequence, then this has to come into play. That's what evolving and improving is. And then eventually, your body learns it. It's in the subconscious mind. Happens automatically because we're creatures of habit. And then over time, we just know it. Right? Okay, so let's review this. Single whip. Turn to the front. Set up. Okay, what's the setup? Because we're here, this scoots down to here. This comes across to here. So this is right in front of the nose. Elbow, look at the elbow, right? Elbow position dictates how high your hand's going to be. If your elbow's too high, it's going to be too high here. So this is actually like this, right? Put your palms together, bring your arms down, put this in front of the nose, square the body, the foot should be a little bit over here, turn the hips. Okay, so that's your center line position. Flip the hands over, there's your other side. Okay, so this is rounded, this is centered. Okay, lower hoop. One side of a hoop goes like that. One side of the triangle goes like that. We say, well, this doesn't look like neutral position, but if I turn my hand like this, you'll see neutral. So where's neutral? This and that. Right? This and that. Okay, so the palm faces out. We flip it over. There's your opposite side. Cross the forearm. Step out. So this is called high pat the horse, or in the kicks we have this movement. So that just separates horizontally. Draw the elbows in. Yeah, this is... So this is the same idea that we're talking about. When you see the hands, you see the hands. If you're just doing the hand movement and following that, then you're not going to control this or this. So what you need to do here, while we see the hands, we control the shoulder and the elbow, the shoulder and elbow. When we flip, we control the shoulder, the elbow position, and create the geometry position. When we cross, now that cross hand is horizontal. How do you know it's correct? If you fold your elbows, it should cross right in your body, right? So that's the same cross hands, but it's in a different plane. Now we lean forward, open the hands like this. We sit back and cross again by flipping over, and then we turn. We step up, make two gentle fists, and fold the elbows. And we open. Okay, so I saw Nancy kind of stumbling there a little bit. Why? Because when we went like this, and we're focusing on the hand, when we shifted like this, wasn't enough weight enough here so that it ended up like that. So what's key is that when we do this, and we flip, and we shift, what do we learn? That we should shift until we get all the weight over that foot. Then you're going to be stable, and then we're going to kick. So where's that shifting built when we're doing our warm-ups? This. Because when we get enough to here, then we're here. This is halfway. When we get enough, then we're here. Right? So we're here, and we get enough here, then this goes up and this goes up. So when we're here, we got enough, check it there, lift the knee, and you kick and you have balance. But at the same time, you got to send a signal to the sole of your foot, and the foot, your toes actually grab the floor. Don't stand and, you know how those clown shoes are and the toes are always up? You know, they're big, but, you know, so they're not very stable actually. So when you go here, when you go to this position, your toes grip the floor, and that gives you some rooting to the ground. But, you know, when you grab the floor, just like you clench your fists, what happens when you clench your fists and you can't control it? Your bicep tenses. This should be relaxed. Because if that's not relaxed, you can't move. So if you go here, you grab the floor and your leg tenses, then you can't move. Becomes another set of tension. So the control factor is you go here, you grab the floor, your ankles are released or relaxed. Only the toes. See, so that's, you know, all these little things that have to happen as a course of, you know, learning. So when we're here, we shift and then we grab. Toe out. Then we're here, we set this center line position here. So this is another hand position. Relax. Find that center. Right? Cross the arms. This is going to take us to the other side. Flip it over. Toe out. Shift. Fold. Check your weight. Grab the floor. Grab the floor and don't get nervous. And then hold. Yeah. So if it's kind of like this, if you upper body too much tension, because too much tension top, what does it do? It creates top heaviness. So stability is like this. This is not stable, right? If you look at it, a triangle. So if you're on the tip and this is heavy, the forces that you create become heavy, so you're like this. We want to be like this and like this. So that's how you develop, you know, the base, because your center of mass has to be centered. So the kicks is what we usually have a lot of trouble with. So the action is here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have to be high. Just get the balance is more important. 1, 2, 3. Turn out. Shift and fold. Lift and kick. And relax. And relax. That's insert needle and relax. And relax. So all those fundamentals that we do actually help build upper-lower integration, center of mass control, balance, and strength, right? And keeping the upper body relaxed. Whenever you go in like this, it's not good, right? So what you have to do is do this one. Relax the upper body. Relax the upper body. Then when you lift, and you lift, and you lift, your body gets used to it and learns to let go. You know, the whole premise of learning to relax is to let go. Let go of what? Let go of anxiety, tension. So that's how we can, you know, sort of de-stress. It comes out of just doing movements and letting go. Because all the tension we hold is up here. What? Yeah. Well, when you go backwards, then you're going to put a tension on your back, or it's going to pull you backwards, and then you're going to go like that. So when you lift from the top of your head.
Don't lift from the back. Lift from here, as if you're being pulled up. They say the concept there is called the vertical spine, head-toe relationship. Head-tail relationship. This is called the coccyx area. So it's called sun aligning and vertically and plumb. It's called Milui Zhongjing. Zhongjing is centered and vertical, and centered meaning from the top of your head through your spine to the tail. So when you lift up from the top, then you'll feel balance. Because you have to relax the neck, relax the head. You can't tilt. It's gonna go that way. So you have to. So it's training yourself to stand in a vertical position, and you have to try to, get a sense of where that center is. Because all the stuff that we do when it comes to centering is an experience. The journey of learning really is the discovery of what that feels like and what it is. So you have to learn if this is twisted, then you have to learn to fix that. It's all muscular tension that throws the alignment of your body off. So everything we do is alignment of the skeletal structure, because each and every joint has a sensor. In the muscle spindles, there's sensory nerves that tell you, if it's there correctly or not, and it really doesn't know until you teach it, or at least go through the experience of going through that process. Then your body will pick up and learn sizes of movement, speed of movement, direction of movement. It's a pretty sophisticated, concept of learning motion. And, building those correct direction of movement, then integrating the body is a whole, another thing. But that integration of body allows for balance. Because, there's a lot of things that we do that we need to delete stuff, but I'd spend a week just talking about those things, and we only have 30 seconds. So, all right, ready? Okay, bow. Salute. Okay, good. Hey, Rob, what's Rob doing here today? He's coming here for the weapons class. Rob just got a new job, by the way. Congratulations, Rob. He's going to be working for Moderna, so we're going to get free vaccines. Moderna, security.
Maybe you guys.
What they're going to make? His job is to make sure someone doesn't steal their technology, right? No. So, learn a lot. Did you learn some concepts? Some concepts?
Yeah, I'm always learning, no matter what. When I watch you reorient. I have a question for you. So when I'm walking here, sometimes like I get out of breath, I start breathing through my mouth. But I know we're supposed to breathe through our nose.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Breathing through the mouth allows your system to get more oxygen.
Yeah.
So when you're walking here, it could be a combination of things that, your circulation is not adequate enough to give you enough oxygen to circulate, to satisfy your muscular or the timing of your breath and your stepping is not good. So, if you walk too fast and your breathing is like mistimed, just like someone that runs, they end up breathing more because your muscles are drawing more. So you need more oxygen. But the thing,
We're in here, do we want to breathe through our nose? What's the benefit of that?
the nose, you should be breathing through your nose because it filters the air. You can develop a better breath, and it doesn't dry out the mucous membranes in your mouth. But the breath that goes through the nose is actually the way we should breathe. Just that we develop habits, and people gulp, more air because people are not trained or conditioned to do that. But breathing through the nose, all the internal systems like Tai Chi or any other, breathe through the nose.
Yeah.
And
Part of it is
it's
that when you breathe through your mouth, you lose moisture. Is that the idea?
you lose moisture. It dries out the mucous membranes, but also this filters the air, and it goes in and it goes, it's much better for your sinuses. Yeah, and it's better for your sinuses. You train that, but then you're using the muscles involved with breathing through the nose. Whereas, the mouth is really to take food in, and then when you eat and swallow, it knows how to shut those flaps over so you don't choke. But when you breathe through the nose, it's more direct source, but it's more complete, and you can regulate your breath better. You can control the inhalation and exhalation better because the apparatus that's involved with that allows you to, make it deeper, and your tongue, touches the roof of your mouth, and then you'll produce a little bit more saliva, and it goes in. It's really, it's kind of interesting because they talk about breath and movement. Rob, you want to bow them in first for a second? Yeah. Okay, deep breathing. So now if you've done it a while, do you have any questions or anything that you're not too sure of in the sequence? When you're like this, yeah. So it's a sinking of the elbow and the knees. So your body has to sink down. Sort of like when you do